It has to be said, I treated that sweet little Bedford van terribly. The Conrod crying enough and poking itself out through the side of the block was quite deserved after 3 months' abuse. As only a 17-year-old can, I had whipped it mercilessly everywhere. The end coming one lunchtime on my way home for a bite, the speedo needle buried as far round as I could get it, there was an almighty bang, leaving me without forward motion and a mile walk home. Keith, it turned out, when he heard of my predicament, was in just such a position to help me out. An Austin Mini Clubman estate, 1976 in white, just happened to be available for sale as he had purchased something a little bigger the previous week. Said ex-employee and car arrived outside my house later that evening and the deal was done. I was back mobile again. The van had been towed back to the yard behind Father's Astra van, and one of my regular motorcycle parts customers spotted it and offered 60 quid if I would deliver the van to his workshop. I agreed. Pulling the Bedford CF lorry round into the yard, I think he thought I was going to somehow load it on board, but instead I ushered him inside the little Bedford HA, hooked on an old rope to the back of the lorry, and wrote "on tow" with marker pen across the van's back doors, then pulled off out of the yard and away on the 9 mile journey. Problem was, I couldn't really see the van too well, coming along behind the lorry on a rope. This, coupled with narrow lanes most of the way to the village where the fella dwelled, meant he looked rather decidedly red-faced, and his eyes out on stalks by the time we pulled onto his road. I uncoupled the truck whilst he went inside to get the money and a cup of hot sweet tea. The lorry was low on fuel by then, so we tried to buy some at a little garage in a village before coming home. This establishment, next to the church, was one of the few remaining old-fashioned petrol stations left with attended service by then. Not really designed for lorries, I shoehorned the CF in just enough for the hose to reach. But pulling out, remember I'd only been driving for 3 months legally, I managed to get the tail of the truck to swing out and take the top out of the church wall. Coming out onto the road, bricks were all over the place, other drivers flashing and hooting, but I just pushed on my way off up the road and home. The passenger fretting about repercussions, the owners knowing him. He continued to grumble all the way back to the yard, but I never heard any more from the incident. That garage was demolished and turned into yet more housing years since. Turning 18 that summer, to be honest, was a bit of a non-event, really. I didn't and still don't drink alcohol, this being due to my desperately weak digestive system. All the other things one does at 18, bar voting, which I never do as it seems to encourage the bastards, I had been doing for years anyway, so it sort of passed by the off stump, really. That seed, the one planted in my head the day we took our own scrap in, had grown into a bit of a sapling. As well as selling my own metal, the junk generated by the motorcycle breaking business, not to mention combing through various sheds and fields for other surplus crap, now I was shifting sundry items superfluous to requirements from neighbours and associates. The beauty being that compared to buying, breaking up, and slowly selling parts from a motorcycle, you just loaded the lorry, drove it in, tipped, and got paid. Cash in the hand, no questions asked, and no problems. The two businesses complemented each other to a certain degree. When customers would ring me to go and purchase a dead motorbike, I would usually find some other metal at their premises that they wanted cleared up. Bread and butter made on the bike deal, the scrap covering the fuel costs to collect it. As in all small communities, word travelled fast that I was now taking old metal and vehicles, as well as buying motorcycles and mopeds. Hello there. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you've enjoyed this and would like to see more, please subscribe to my channel and also share with your friends. It really is appreciated. Take care.